What up, fellas? What's up? Welcome to the SATS show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What up, Oscar? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I was promised free Bitcoin. Yes, if it's your first time here and you're watching the show if you're here and you have no idea about Bitcoin, you're trying to learn and you're trying to get your first couple of sats, Oscar, go download Wallet of Satoshi. It's an app. You can get it in the iTunes store, or if you're on Google Android phone, you can get it in the Google Play store. Go download Wallet of Satoshi, and let me know when you've done that. I'm gonna send you some Bitcoin, some Satoshis, some fractions of the Bitcoin. Okay, do that. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show where I'm about to change this too, where we dollar cost average into Bitcoin every day. But we're changing that, guys. We're taking the dollar out of the dollar cost average. We're calling it Bitcoin average. We're BCA. We BCA every day. Sorry. Bitcoin cost average. Bitcoin cost average. No more dollar cost average. Bitcoin cost average. Okay. So as you know, the first thing we like to check in when we start the episode is how many Satoshis, how many fractions of Bitcoin can we buy for a single dollar? Let's find out in today's SAT Strength segment. Let's go. Today, at this very moment, you can buy Bitcoin at the price of $29,975 for a whole Bitcoin, or if you spend $1, you'll get 3,336 Satoshi. And if you happen to be walking around the street, minding your own business, you see something shiny on the floor, it's a penny. Well, see a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have 33.35 Satoshi. So one penny right now can buy you 33.35 Satoshis. Okay. And if it's your first, Wallet of Satoshi app. That's right, Oscar. And if you're new to the show and I haven't bribed you yet, then let me know, like Oscar, and I will send you 1,000 Satoshis. No, not 33 Satoshis. 1,000 Satoshis. Okay. We'll do it right now, live over the stream. If you're watching the replay, come hang out with us live. Jump in the chat, and you too will receive 1,000 Satoshis. Someday, in the far future, people will look back on this show and say, dang, that guy messed up. He gave each subscriber 1,000 sats. I'll be like the pizza guy. I'll be like the pizza guy. Totally worth it, though. This song's pretty fire. I think sometimes I do the show too fast and I don't give people enough time to jump in. So we're gonna make this show a little bit longer. But still entertaining. Drinking soda. Talking about Bitcoin. Alright. Let's get into the next segment of the show, which is the why we stack segment, the orange pill portion. If you don't know what orange pill means, it means you're dispensing information to help people understand what Bitcoin is and how it works. I think they use this song in the CDL. Oh, nice. Well, maybe we'll have a license for it, so hope they do too. Okay. So we've been seeing a lot of news recently with the real money. Talking about the real money, trying to get approval to move some of that wealth that they manage into Bitcoin, right? They want to set up services. Companies like BlackRock, they manage tons of money. They want to set up services to be able to offer it to offer to custody your Bitcoin. So if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, you're not really sure how it works, you don't have access to a show like this because you don't know about it, because it hasn't been shared enough, then you kind of say, oh, well, this is a company I buy my stocks from, or this is a company I buy my things from. I'm going to just kind of go with them and let them hold my Bitcoin for me, well, so that I can actually hold Bitcoin, right? But what they're going to do with this is they're going to buy Bitcoin, hold it themselves, and they're going to sell Bitcoin as an ETF, so as an exchange traded fund. So you're buying the fund that correlates to their position in Bitcoin, right? And it makes it easy for people that don't want to learn the whole Bitcoin process and they want to just continue to do things the way they have been doing in the past, where they don't self-custody and they trust somebody else to hold their wealth and let them access to it. And it's just not the way. It's not the purpose of Bitcoin. It's not the way it was intended to be used. The purpose of Bitcoin is that you have your own sovereign wealth. Like you're the one that should be in charge of it. You're the one that can manage it. And remember the foundational stuff, guys. Not your keys, not your crypto, right? So if you don't have the wallets, if you don't have the keys to the wallet where your wealth is being stored, then it's not your wealth. Okay? If your money's in the bank and the bank decides to close for the day, or their site goes down, is it your money? It's not your money. It's not your money if you have to ask anybody permission to use it. Okay. So, anyway, but that said, that's not going to deter these companies from trying to set up products that are based on Bitcoin. But in order for them to set up products that are based on Bitcoin, they're going to have to start to invest in Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin in order to be able to sell the derivatives of Bitcoin, right? Or not derivatives, but the ETF of Bitcoin. Okay. So why do these big companies want to be in Bitcoin? Because for the same reason that you and I would want to be in Bitcoin, because it's an inflation hedge. You know, as all the assets that we have available to us right now, real estate, stock market, bonds, cash, savings account, all that stuff is pegged in a way to the dollar, right? And as the dollar inflates, all those things also, the price is not right. Like if you're basing the value of something on the dollar, it's a constantly moving peg, right? Or a constantly moving scale, right? So like for example, like real estate is supposed to be a good place to invest and gain wealth. Is it really that you're gaining wealth, or is it just that you need more cheap, weaker dollars to pay for that same property, right? Anyway, that said, BlackRock is no good. Yeah, I agree, Leonard, but you can't ban people from Bitcoin, right? You can't tell people they can't buy Bitcoin, which is part of the good thing about it, right? But if those institutions start to come into Bitcoin with that volume of money, like I said before, like I said for a couple of weeks now, right? There's nothing that they can do to make more Bitcoin. So they have to buy the Bitcoin that already exists. The Bitcoin, like I think 95% of all the Bitcoin has already been mined, right? There's only like 10 to 5% left to mine or something crazy like that. So the supply of Bitcoin is pretty much at its max, right? And if all these institutions start to come in with real money, right? The only thing that can happen is the price is going to go up, right? Whether it's like today, well, not today, well, it's tomorrow, well, it's next week, next year, whenever they get that ETF approved, right? But even if they don't ever get that ETF approved, right? It's already the genie's out of the bottle. Like everybody's starting to realize, why would BlackRock or a big hitter like that even consider looking into Bitcoin? Why would even just the fact that they've initiated the moves to try to get approval on that ETF is like a big enough signal for people to start to learn about it, right? So they can't, as of that I know of, get Bitcoin or hold Bitcoin. So companies like that and big banks like Bank of America have purchased stock in a company called MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy has like 140,000 Bitcoin or something like that, something ridiculous like that. So from what I've been reading, it's a way for them to get Bitcoin exposure by holding that company, because that company owns so many Bitcoin, right? So it's kind of a cool, like a sneaky way of doing it. But anyway, between BlackRock, Bank of America, and a couple other banks, they own 10% of MicroStrategies, right? And MicroStrategy is just like a software development company, or they make some software. I think they make software, but not enough to warrant such big organizations having such big positions in it, except for that they want exposure to Bitcoin in a kind of in a roundabout way, without having to get Bitcoin themselves and without having to go through a bunch of more regulations to be able to hold Bitcoin, right? So now that like BlackRock and other and like I think it's I forget the other institution that asked for ETF approval. There's been at least 3 others now since BlackRock is trying to get approval for it. So all that to say that it's pretty wild. It's just crazy. It's pretty wild. The volume of, I guess you could call it the volume of money that's going to be available for the volume of I guess assets. And so I found this cool chart that I think you guys should check out. I'm gonna bring it up to the browser right now. Just download. Okay, Oscar, when you're done when you're done downloading it, open it. Let me bring it up here. So you can open it like this, right? It's gonna open. Then I want you to hit this button right there that says receive. Right? And after you hit that button that says receive, you're gonna make sure that you have the @ symbol selected. And then you can have a random username right here. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, come on. There it goes. See, mine says freelarch84. Yours is gonna say something different. Type that name into the chat. Okay, don't put the @ symbol or walletofsatoshi.com. Just put the name and the number. It's like it should be 2 words and a number. Put it in the chat. Okay, so let me show you guys this real quick. Boom. So where my face is right here, it says total global asset value. So the value of all these types of assets, the amount of wealth that's invested in these types of assets, right? So like art, there's there's $18 trillion worth of value stored in art, right? There's $12 trillion worth of value stored in gold, and $115 trillion worth of equities, right? $330 trillion of real estate. That's how much wealth the real estate market is holding, right? Bonds is another 300 trillion, and then just flat out cash, right? Stuff in bank accounts, that's $120 trillion, right? These numbers are a little bit out of date, but like Bitcoin currently, I think it's closer to 500,000. Salty penalty 11, really, dude? That's hilarious. That's a good one. Salty penalty sounds like an act. So Bitcoin is, I think right now it's at about 500,000 or 575,000. 575 billion. It's not even a trillion, not even a single trillion, right? So if these companies that are holding value in all of these other asset types move just a fraction of their holdings to, I think the page is like cutting off the bottom of the square, but no, that's about right. Let's do this. There we go. If just a fraction of this available of the asset value that's deployed in these other things starts to shift over into Bitcoin, and we're in it now before those people decide to move stuff over, like it's going to be insane, right? It's going to be insane. This is like life-changing stuff, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just remind you, just keep stacking. All right, keep stacking. So let's look up Oscar here real quick. What up, guys? If you're watching and you haven't received Satoshis from me yet, go download Wallet of Satoshi. Well, first of all, subscribe so you can comment. And after a minute from you subscribing, you'll be able to comment. Once you can comment with your Wallet of Satoshi ID that you get here once you get your Wallet of Satoshi downloaded. And I'm gonna send you some sats. Okay. So for me, I'm gonna send. And I'm gonna send it with a keyboard. I'm gonna send it to Salty. This is gonna get confusing because you're not gonna be Salty. Where is it? Salty penalty. That's terrible, dude. That sounds like something you do out on the water. At Wallet of Satoshi. Boom. Here we go. This is so Lightning is a layer 2. It's a solution that works on top of Bitcoin. And I'm gonna send you Satoshis. I'm gonna send you 1,000 Satoshis, and those are legitimate Bitcoin. Okay. So don't just lose them. Okay. It's about 30 cents worth. It's about 30 cents worth of Bitcoin. 1,000 Satoshis. Ready? Ready, Oscar? Salty penalty 11. And here we go. See how fast this works. 3, 2, 1. And it's gone. Let's see. There it is. Sent to wallet. Let me know when you got it, Oscar. Did you get it yet? Let me know. Hit that like button too. Let's go. After you hit that like button, come into the chat and type in stacked for stacking the likes. Choo! All right. All right, now we're going to get to the part of the show where I lead by example. This is for research purposes only. If you decide to invest in Bitcoin, that's up to you. Do your own research. Read all the books. Come back here and get some help if you have any questions. The moment you hit send, I got it. See, it's amazing, right? And there's no fees between nobody else but you and I, and the stream knows that transaction happened. Okay. Well, maybe Wallet of Satoshi does, but beyond that, nobody's in between us with their grubby little hands trying to steal a fraction of the value I just sent you. Okay. So it's going to be huge. It's amazing. All right, here we go. If you want to test sending me something, Oscar, I want you to test sending me one single Satoshi. Okay. Go to your wallet, hit send, and then go to the keyboard and type in Roman at stacksatshow.com. Okay. Here, I'll put it in the chat. I got a custom URL because I'm crazy. Okay. You can send one Satoshi. So click send, set the Satoshi to 1, and then type in my LN URL, which is Roman at stacksatshow.com, and I will see it come through. Okay. If you send it. Okay. That way you can get a feel for sending it and receiving. Okay. Very cool. And if you're new and you want to get some sats, want to get started in the process, say something in the chat. We'll hook you up. Okay. All right. Now let's jump into Stack Recap. This is where we cover our current position in Bitcoin and see where we're at. Okay, let's do this. Oh, wrong window. There it is. There it is. Okay. that song hits. That song hits. Okay. We are at 12.48% gain since we started collecting, since we started the show on the 22nd. Was it 22nd? Yeah, on the 22nd. And so now our current position is 878,061 Satoshis. So fractions of a Bitcoin. Remember, we need 100 million Satoshis to make one Bitcoin. That's what we have. 0.00878. It's the same number. It's just decimals moved over 8 places. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. Today's Bitcoin price right now is $30,000 So that is above our average buy price for the holdings of the show. So today we're only going to stack $10 worth. Okay, because remember that the rule is if our average buy price is below the price, we stack $10. If our average buy price is if Bitcoin is below our average buy price, then we stack $15. If it's below the price, if it's the lowest we've ever seen on the show, then we'll buy $25 worth. Okay, but we just keep doing that every day, slow and steady every day. Bitcoin cost average. So let's get this set up. That was a recap. Let's jump into the actual. Yeah, let's jump into the actual stack. It's time to stack, boys. Okay, let's see if I can buy some Bitcoin before the screen dies. Before the time runs out. Some time. Okay, buy instantly. Boom. $10. Boom. Buy preview. Stack this one. Let's go. Okay, so we bought. Oh, I gotta change this back. Before we bought. Let me just update my notes, and we'll review. We'll repopulate the spreadsheet with the new information. Okay. So just like that, we're able to buy SATs. I bought $10 worth of SATs. It cost me 10 cents to buy them, and now we're gonna update our spreadsheet. So today is 6/22/23. Why is that doing that? Oh, it's 2 slashes. And the price of today's buy was 30,116. And we spent $10.10. And that bought us 0.0033205 Satoshis, or fractions of a Bitcoin, which translates to 33,205 Satoshis. Not bad. Okay, so let's see what our new numbers are. Okay. So we are here. So close to having 1 million sats. 1 million 1 million Satoshis is 0.01 Bitcoin. Okay. 0.01 Bitcoin. So right now we spent so far $244.37 to buy 911,266 Satoshis, which are actually now worth $273.54. I know it doesn't seem like much, guys, but these numbers here, like, they don't matter. What matters are these numbers here. As long as these numbers go up, that's all you should be caring about. Keep stacking every day, because when that big flood of institutional money comes in, right? All this stuff we're looking at. when this comes in, it's gonna skyrocket, and you might not be able to buy that many sats per dollar as we are able to buy now. Okay. And as more and more people find out about it, and other countries find out about it, it'll just kind of keep going. So there's no time like today to buy, right? A little bit at a time, right? But also, we have the halving coming up as well. We talked about this last week. The halving is where they cut the rewards for mining in half to further make it more scarce. So to further make Bitcoin more scarce. So a reward for mining Bitcoin, if you the lucky one that gets to mine the next block, you get 6.25 Bitcoin, which loosely translates to about 900 new Bitcoin or 900 newly released Bitcoin into the ecosystem per year. And that's going to take it down, right? So what, 450 Bitcoin per year, right? So the available supply is going to get smaller, and the price is going up already. So when this happens, it should be even worse as far as like price going up. Okay. In the past, we've had two halvings so far, more than two halvings, but I think this is halving number 4 that's going to happen. In past halvings, this is what's happened traditionally, right? So at about, so it's about a year or two after the halving happens. That's where that tends to pump. So this is the last halving right here, and it pumped for like about 546 days, right? We are here. We are about 297 days from so like right here. Yep. So about 10 months away from the next actual halving, and then from there it'll take about a year for it to go really crazy. And if this pattern keeps repeating with the addition of the institutional money coming in, it should go pretty well. Nothing is guaranteed, of course, but if you just follow patterns, I mean, it looks like it's more plausible than not, I guess, right? Anyway, make sure I'm not missing anything over here. No fees between homies. Let's go. I think BlackRock's getting into Bitcoin is a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a bad thing because it's going to make it really hard to buy it. It's going to make it really expensive, I think, to buy Bitcoin, right? It's not bad for people that already know about it and are holding Bitcoin, right? Because you're pretty much gonna. It's hard to speak this way and make it sound. It's not like a certainty. Nothing's certain, right? But part of me has that feeling too, Leonard, where it's like, man, I wish they wouldn't get into it yet. I wish not that many people knew about it yet. I want like regular people like us to know about it, right? I want like my family members to have an opportunity to get into it. I want my friends to have an opportunity to get into it. I want people that have been getting like denied that access to like real wealth to get an opportunity to get a nice little Bitcoin stack going before all these companies jump in. You know, we're like super lucky to know about it now. And then at this point, like if you knew about it and didn't act on it, didn't study it, decided not to, that it wasn't for you, then that's on you, right? At some point, this is inevitable. At some point, it's gonna happen, and it's just because you can see what's happening in the economy, dude. Like they're trying to balance not destroying the economy, but they gotta keep printing money. So if they print money, they create inflation, right? And if they create inflation, it slows down. If they create inflation, then they gotta raise the interest rate to slow down inflation, right? So they're penalizing regular people by making them lose their job by raising the interest rate and making it seem like like people having jobs is a bad thing because they have money to spend. But the bad thing is that they're printing too much money, right? Like people having jobs doesn't create money. They just get paid the money that the government's making, right? So it's very weird. But I think this was eventually going to happen. But the cool thing about Bitcoin and the reason why I think you might think that an institution like BlackRock getting into it is bad is because traditionally, like in the US dollar system, when the more money you get in the US dollar system or in any government system, the more money you get, the more influence you have on like the rules, and you can lobby governments to change rules to benefit your standing, right? Your position in that system, right? Well, in Bitcoin, if you're holding 100,000 Bitcoin, or if you're holding a single Bitcoin, right? There's nothing that makes that other that gives those wallets power over another wallet. Like they doesn't matter how many Bitcoin you're holding, you still can't change the Bitcoin rules, right? So you can't affect monetary policy. Doesn't matter how many, like in this case, monetary policy for Bitcoin is the code, right? Is a rule set that has already been established, and then nobody can change. No matter how much Bitcoin you possess, you can't go in and change the Bitcoin rules to benefit you because you have a bigger stash, right? Whereas with a dollar, yeah, the more money you have, which in BlackRock is a perfect case, they have so much money that they can lobby governments and whatever and get stuff approved and blah blah, because those rules are created and can be modified by people, right? And you can influence it with having a lot of money. You can still influence. So doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you're holding, doesn't matter how much cash you're holding, doesn't matter what, you can't change the rules of Bitcoin. And so it seems like BlackRock getting into it is a bad idea, right? Now that doesn't so if they decide to hold a lot of Bitcoin and then create like they're trying to create a ETF, right? Or some other product that's backed by Bitcoin, right? That's based on Bitcoin. And they try to do the same stuff that they're doing, and they try to do the same stuff that they've done with the dollar system, where they create products and like move the shells around and create packages of things, of goods and loans and credits and all that stuff. And then in the end, after they shoot themselves in the foot, the government has to come in and print a bunch of money to rescue them, right? Well, they can't do that in Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin is like you can't go in and buy a bunch of Bitcoin and then make products based on that Bitcoin and what is it called? Basically, you're selling Bitcoin receipts, right? You sell more Bitcoin receipts than you have Bitcoin for. Eventually, you're gonna get found out, and that institution is gonna fall apart because there's no way for any kind of bank or any kind of government to come and bail them if they're based in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin kind of keeps them honest, right? But they can also influence laws at that we can't use the Bitcoin that we have. So China banned Bitcoin, right? And people in China still have Bitcoin. Like if you can ban, who knows how long cigarette, what's it called, weed was banned. People were still smoking weed all the time, right? So it's if you can't figure out how to enforce a weed ban or if you can't figure out how to enforce the illegal, what do you call it, making weed illegal, they gave up on that. They said screw it, make it illegal. And that's something that you can have possess and have like an animal, like a dog sniff out the thing and find it and stuff, right? How are they gonna know that you even have Bitcoin, right? Like, yeah, they'll know they have Bitcoin because you bought it from an exchange, but there's ways for you to spend it or lose it, and who's gonna know whose wallet is on the blockchain, right? So that's the whole point, is that, and that's one of the main draws of Bitcoin is that it's unconfiscatable, right? Remember, like they can take your phone and probably, destroy it, but they won't be able to control that wallet unless they have the keys, right? So as long as you have your keys, they'll probably figure something out, like, hey, we're gonna put you in jail until you give us your keys, or we're gonna put you in jail until you give us your Bitcoin. But then it's the choice, right? Yeah, they can still, I guess, extort you, I guess, or jail you, but they'll come after me before they come after you, because I'm over here talking about it, and so they know I have it. Dun dun dun. But if you needed to move to a different country, you just move, right? Somewhere where they appreciate real money. You can move to El Salvador. We'll move to El Salvador, dude. They have good fishing there. Yeah, but it's a crazy concept, right? But that said, there's no laws against Bitcoin in the U.S., and I doubt there will be, as far as like holding it and using it. Yeah, they'll probably try to tax, like if you sell it, like when you sell stocks and stuff, right? Like tax gains, which makes sense. But we'll see how it goes. What up, Jason? Let's go. Look at that, 5 concurrent viewers, man. We're slaying. We're hitting all-time highs on percentage of viewers. We're over here with 5 concurrent viewers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're just talking about the effects of BlackRock jumping into the scene and coming in with the large piles of money trying to buy Bitcoin, right? Yeah, it's growing, but there's concerns about like how their involvement will affect Bitcoin, right? And I was just trying to tell the guys that, like, doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you're holding, you can't change the rules of Bitcoin, right? So it's not like in the traditional money system or the fiat system, where the more money you have, the more influence you have over the rules that govern that money. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a lot of cool stuff happening, and it could get a little bit scary. But a Bitcoin is still a Bitcoin, guys, and a SAT is still a SAT. So, if they go crazy and decide to ban it here in the U.S. or something like that, then you can still move that wealth to a different country if you need to, or it's not like it's. I don't think it'll get to that point. We'll talk about it if it does. If it gets to that point, then we'll have to figure something out. But I doubt it will. Like, for us to ban it like that, especially since now you have those big institutions that are kind of basically running the government anyway, right? And there's been so many ETF requests from a bunch of different companies that have been rejected by the SEC, but like not from such a big company like BlackRock. So they have, if anybody could get it approved, it'd be them. They probably have a ton of like influence. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, if they get approved or not, doesn't matter in the long term. It doesn't matter, because your sats are your sats, and we just keep stacking while we can. And if like I said, if we wake up tomorrow and they got their ETF approved and Bitcoin's to like 100,000 or more, right? Then your worry about like you're kind of, depending on how much coin you're holding now, you'll be kind of set, right? Like how much money does a person really need to live out their life, right? Like, do I need all kinds of crazy stuff, like a MMFC yacht, an MMFC clubhouse on the bay? Do I need that? It'd be nice, but it just and at a certain point, after stacking sats for so long, you're gonna maybe 2 or 3 halvings into Bitcoin, right? So every halving is 4 years, right? So you're like 2 or 3 halvings into Bitcoin. We'll look back and say, God dang, dude, I didn't think having half a Bitcoin would have made such a big difference, right? But or having a whole coin in this case, right? If you already have a whole coin in Bitcoin, you're pretty much styling, you know. Like your descendants are good to go, you know. Like maybe it won't affect your life as much as it will the next generations after you, but you're setting them up for success, right? The way I look at my stacking, that I'm doing today, on the show even, and on the side, of course, as I look at it as future me, as old Biff. I'm like old Biff, dude. In Back to the Future, I'm old Biff, and right here I'm coming back to the past to tell you guys and myself to stack sats, dude, because in the future it's gonna change it's gonna change us, right? So I'm old Biff. The MMC Clubhouse is anywhere we decide. Yeah, that's right. A pop-up canopy. Let's go. That's right. But so remember, we're time travelers coming back to the past to secure the future of our descendants. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Okay, yeah, it might be a little bit life changing for me during my lifetime because I'll be, it's gonna having a place to save that's gonna actually retain the value of the stuff of the money you're saving is good, and it changes your mindset, right? It changes your mindset from that YOLO, hey, let's spend it now while we can before it's worth less, to let's save and get better stuff in the future. I don't need no stinking building. That's right, dude. That's right, Leonard. We don't need no stinking building, right? But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited about it. So, Jason, I'm glad you were able to tune in. I hope everything is well. Leonard, thanks, dude. Thank you for helping me mod as always, keeping Carl in check. Because Carl, it gets wild. And Oscar, thanks for tuning in. Dude, enjoy those Satoshis. Remember that the Satoshis that I send you on Wallet of Satoshi are considered non-custodial, which means if Wallet of Satoshi decides to go out of business, you'll lose those sats. Okay, so don't put anything more than maybe like $20 of Satoshis in there. That's just for you to have and to play around with and to send to Leonard and Carl and Jason, and you guys can send me a sat or two just to kind of test it and get used to it, right? Carl, just wait till we're all like super wealthy, and people's true personalities start to come out and be like, come on, man, I always wanted to have a leopard skin, boa skin. people start getting all eccentric and stuff. It's so funny, dude. But yeah, if you have the Wallet of Satoshi installed, add another layer of recoverability by adding your email address to there in case you lose your wallet. You can log into it and recover it, right? Calm down, Carl. This is your first warning. Nice. All right, gentlemen, thanks for humoring me and making today super fun. I appreciate you guys so much. And we will talk tomorrow, yeah, for the Friday episode of the Stack Sats Show. Jeez. Hopefully Bitcoin keeps pumping like crazy. And we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be awesome. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Stack Sats, baby, yeah! Smack the like on the way out, boys. Can we hit 5 likes? Let's go. Can we hit 5 likes? 5 likes will be a record for the show. All-time high concurrent viewers 5. All-time high concurrent likes 4. All right. Good night, gentlemen.